How's it going, Yankee fans? Welcome back to Fireside Yankees with your boys, Alex and Ryan. Today we're discussing Anthony Volpe and his role for the 2023 season. Right now, we're kind of staring at Aaron Judge and saying, what's going on there? Reports are saying that it's 50-50 between the Giants and the Yankees at this point in time. And, the Yankees are confident, but if the Giants are willing to give a lot of him the same amount of money, plus continue spending, plus he gets to be in nice weather on the West Coast, pretty hard to turn down if you're Aaron Judge. And end of the day, it's definitely closer to home for him. And, there's a lot of variables that definitely suggest it would be the better move. But, staying with the Yankees obviously is one that I think he wants to make. He prefers to be in pinstripes. This is the team that developed him, turned him into this superstar player. And I think he calls this place home as much as anywhere else at this point in time. But with that being said, Volpe, his entire kind of situation relies on if the Yankees land Judge or not. And with that being said, I think if they don't land Judge, you're looking at the Yankees probably turning their attention toward the shortstop market. Trey Turner, Xander Bogaerts, some really, really good players in the shortstop market right now. And right now it seems like Oswald Peraza and Volpe will get the opportunity to compete for the starting shortstop job in 2023. If they retain Judge, if they bring in a new infielder, Volpe's development or, elevation to the majors maybe gets delayed. There's a couple different variables I want to discuss here that could impact how they utilize him in the near future. But Ryan, when you're looking at Anthony Volpe, are you seeing him as a MLB prospect that's ready right now? Or do you think he needs a little bit more time in AAA to kind of get his feet under him?
Yeah, so I view him as someone who definitely can benefit from some time in AAA. Next year he's in his age 22 season. He won't be 22 on opening day. He'll be 22 in late April. But, this is a guy who I don't think the Yankees necessarily need to rush. I believe he's remarkably talented. I think he is a lot of the things the Yankees need, which is someone who isn't going to strike out a lot. He's going to work a lot of walks, can provide above average power, is going to steal a ton of bases. And I do believe in his glove at shortstop. So, if the Yankees are to feel that, potentially you want to give Volpe a shot at shortstop, I think that would work perfectly fine. I don't want to have him come up and ruin his confidence, which I think is a risk that is inherent. If he has a great spring training and he looks phenomenal, the bat to ball skills are there, maybe some improved max exit velo numbers, with max exit velocity in general, Volpe's entering that age where it's going to start to creep up a little bit more. He's getting a little bit older. And I imagine, in the power department, you're going to see a little bit better numbers. But, you have Peraza, you have Cabrera, you don't have to bring Volpe up. You currently have Glaber on the roster. They still have IKF and Donaldson technically on the roster. I don't think that Volpe is going to be forced to have to come up if he's not ready. I don't think he's going to be forced to start on opening day if he's not ready, though that would definitely be exciting. And I think the world of Volpe, I think 2023 is a big year for him. I think he's going to make an impact on that team, a positive impact. Projections like him for next year, a 113 WRC plus. They have him playing 81 games, hitting 12 home runs, stealing 14 bases, which isn't bad for your first half season at the major league level. That extrapolates to over 162 games, like about 24 home runs, 28 stolen bases. Those are some pretty good numbers. So I am excited to see how Volpe can perform at the major league level, but I would give him at least about a month, maybe a month and a half in AAA, see if he tears it up. If he's killing it down there, there's no reason to not call him up. You're a playoff team. You're trying to win the World Series. You want your best players up at all times.
Agreed. Now, there is a couple of variables that do impact, in my opinion, how the Yankees will approach Anthony Volpe, and that's essentially what do they do with Gleyber Torres, and is DJ LeMahieu available? Is he healthy, to start next year? Because that ultimately plays a big part as well. If they keep Gleyber Torres, and for the record, I think that Peraza wins that shortstop. I think the Yankees end up retaining Aaron Judge, and I think that Peraza wins the starting shortstop job just based on his experience, elite defensive quality, and having a couple of games of sample size down the stretch. He looked pretty sharp. And obviously came in against Houston in the playoffs and looked unbelievable defensively. Offensively, a lot to be desired. But again, expecting him to go in there and compete against some of the best pitchers in baseball was always a losing strategy. The Yankees never intended for that to happen. But with that being said, I kind of see Volpe in your perspective as well. He needs more time. He did not look altogether that great in AAA. It took him a while to get used to AA this past season. He really struggled to start the year, but he got really, really good as the year went on. He's the type of player that just gets better over time, and he adjusts pretty quickly. But, in AAA, that's his best opportunity to really adjust to that MLB caliber of play. A lot of those guys have been up and down a couple times. And I think ultimately, that's where he needs to be for the first couple months. Now, do you think there's a world where the Yankees just are basically looking to manipulate his service time? Maybe this is actually a realistic probability. in my opinion, if they go and retain Aaron Judge and Gleyber Torres is on this team and the Yankees end up moving Torres at the trade deadline, I think that you're looking at maybe calling up Volpe around then, so that way you don't have to accrue any service time. And then you're looking at 2024. He's your starting shortstop every day. Maybe a trade Peraza. Maybe you put him at second base. Maybe you put him on the hot corner. But you still have LeMahieu. IKF still on the team apparently for next year at least. And then Josh Donaldson. We'll see what happens with him. But do you think that there's a possibility that we don't see Volpe until like mid-August when they can kind of manipulate that service time? Or do you think that, screw that, we need to be utilizing our star prospects now and not holding them back and kind of hugging them in the AAA kind of realm and not letting them take that next step forward?
Yeah, so I think that one of the most important things that you mentioned there is service time, right? The Yankees have a track record of trying to manipulate service time. You mentioned Gleyber Torres. Gleyber Torres did not feature on the opening day roster. Instead, the Yankees acquired guys like, Brandon Drury and Neil Walker to start over Gleyber and Andujar to not have them on the opening day roster. We saw this last year. The Yankees refused to bring up Oswaldo Cabrera at a certain point. It was to preserve, make sure that Peraza, it was specifically because they wanted to maintain that he remain a rookie because next year, since he's a top 100 prospect, if he wins Rookie of the Year, the Yankees gain an extra draft pick. Peraza, actually, I believe he either gains another year of service time or something along those lines. There is benefits for the rookie as well, but the Yankees could get an additional draft pick, which could prove to be highly beneficial. Another, first or second round pick, especially in the Major League Baseball draft, is quite valuable. I think the Yankees think Volpe could have a serious shot. Obviously, in 2024, specifically, if he was to be a rookie, he has a very good shot at winning Rookie of the Year. He's in New York. He's going to be a popular player. If he plays well, the media will be all over him. So that's definitely something I think the Yankees have in the back of their head. The Orioles, they didn't call up Adley Rutschman until May. He probably wins Rookie of the Year if he plays the full season. So, the Orioles kind of missed out on a shot there to get a pick. And I guess the Yankees want to avoid a situation like that. But I do think that if the team is struggling or if the Yankees need immediate help or if they just cannot ignore Volpe, they'll kind of, throw caution to the wind and just call him up because, that the AL East is going to be very competitive next year. The Tampa Bay Rays are going to be competitive. The Blue Jays are going to be competitive. The Red Sox are going to want to be competitive. The Orioles are no longer a pushover. This is going to be a tough American League East in 2023. So, I think pressure could be applied to this team to have to call it Volpe, right? I think I would even argue last year, I don't know if we see Cabrera if the Yankees never struggle. If this team maintained their winning ways and if the division was never even close to in reach, I don't think we see Cabrera. Maybe we do, but in September. But I think pressure creates, desperation. Desperation creates, the opportunity for us to kind of call some guys up a little bit earlier than we would have liked to. And I think the Yankees are going to either be put in that spot or Volpe is going to be too good to ignore, or maybe Volpe struggles and they don't feel they need to call him up or they don't want to call him up. Or the fourth option is, the Yankees are killing it. Volpe is so good and they move Gleyber, as you mentioned, and maybe that opens up a spot for him in the infield.
Yeah, absolutely. I really do think that, the Yankees are in prime position to kind of elevate these youngsters and make the most of the opportunity. But I'm excited. This is definitely an exciting time for the Yankees, and they can keep their salary space down and keep their salary commitments down by using their youngsters. So I'm curious to see how they use Volpe moving forward. A lot of different things could happen. But guys, I'd love to hear perspectives in the YouTube comments, as always, on how they should use Volpe, how they should use Peraza. And maybe they should give him some time. Maybe they should, inject them into the mix right away. But I think spring training will give us a lot of answers in terms of that competition battle, that position battle at shortstop, and how they intend to use Volpe and how good he looks. If he looks really good, they may just pull him up immediately and trade Gleyber Torres. There's a lot of different things that could happen. So I'm very excited to see what the future holds for us. But as always, my friends, make sure to like and subscribe. As always, enjoy the rest of your day. And we'll catch you guys on the next Fireside Yankees episode.